New class alert, please. We got a new class upcoming. Who are the allies of Allah and the allies of Shaytan? Taught by Ustada Layla Nashiba. I know you're not going to want to miss this. So please stay tuned, okay? Streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnahfollowers. Faithful friend or enemy.
Wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. I want to welcome everybody to our Aqidah class. And for our Aqidah class, we are discussing how, as human beings, all humans, all jinns, we were created with the purpose of worshiping Allah and worshiping Allah alone. And all humans and all jinn, we were the creations that chose free will. And as a result of that, we, out of all of Allah's creations, are the ones that fall in the category of either being allies of Allah or we are allies of Shaytan. And the whole purpose of me doing this series is part of continuation of what we discussed about how to get to know your Lord. To get to know your Lord, you need to know what's pleasing to him. To get to know your Lord, you need to learn how to become allied with him and not allied with Shaitan. So we've been focusing on this concept. And again, the whole purpose of me teaching this series is not for any of us to go around pointing fingers at other Muslims, labeling them kafirs, labeling them allies of Shaitan. It is not for us to label ourselves allies of Allah, because only Allah knows who his true allies are. But he's given us the characteristics, the qualities to be aware of, so we individually, we personally can work on making better choices for ourselves in hopes of being allied with him, so we'll come out winners when we're in that grave, and even better winners when on the day of judgment. So this will be the 4th session, and I did not give you a quiz yesterday, nor did I give you a quiz the day before. So we have a nice little quiz today. So let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen. Oh, I got the computers all switched around. Let me look over here. It's over here today. Yeah, I got it on this today. Got to switch it up, you know. Remember to work that brain. You guys remember on Thursday, you know, remember the exercises that Dr. McBride taught to work that brain? Let's see if you guys were doing those exercises to work that part of your brain. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's why I got it on this side, and y'all see it. It's kind of hard to work this part of my brain. I ain't used to working this one. I'm a right brain person. Are you a left brain or right brain? I'm a right brain person. So I don't work this left side that much. Hold on. And I'm trying to work it now, and it's weird. Inshallah, you guys should be able to see the screen. Okay, yeah, you can see. I was trying to make sure I can see. So today we're going to speak about, yesterday we spoke about how the groups, how Allah has 2 groups. There are 2 categories of the allies of Allah. There's only one category of the allies of Shaitan, but there's 2 categories of the allies of Allah. And we spoke about that yesterday. And remember, you should ask yourself, you should do it every night before you go to bed. Each and every one of us should do self-evaluation. We should evaluate our what we've done over the day, to correct any mistakes, to repent from any sins, and to set goals for the next day. And one of the things you want to do is try to figure out, which category of allies of Allah did you fit in today? That's what everybody should do every night. And then this is a question that Brother Edward asked yesterday, and also Sister, what was her name? Kimmy. And I told them that we'll talk about it today. Okay, what about this? And also Sister Nia. These are people who are new. They just converted to Islam. They haven't received in detail the message of Islam because they're new shahadas. For example, Sister Nia, she doesn't know the seerah. She doesn't know the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She doesn't even know the names of all his wives. She may not have received, the message in detail that he came with, okay? Because she's new. She doesn't know everything that's haram. She doesn't know everything that's impermissible, but she's learning. So a lot of people ask the question, because I did not receive the message in detail, does that prevent me from becoming an ally of Allah, because I don't know the names of all the companions, because I don't know the history of Islam, because I don't know about the Prophet's wives and children, because I don't know how to recite the surahs of the Quran. I don't even know tajweed. We're going to answer that question today. That's a very good question that the new shahadas asked me, and we're going to talk about that today. And before we do, wrong computer. I'm going to start off with a quiz from yesterday and the day before. And I tried to make it simple with just true or false answers. Let's look at this first question, just to see if you guys are understanding what I am teaching so far. Is this statement true or false? A person who is sinning, or a person that is committing sins, can be an ally of Allah. Is that true or false? What do you guys think? Is that statement true or false?
False.
Nia? What'd you say, Nia?
False.
Okay. Edward, Amy, Kimmy, I want to see from all my new shahadas. Okay, Annette said false. She's not a new shahada, but mashallah. Exactly, Annette, Sakina, Margaret, good job. Everybody, the new shahadas too. Everybody got it right. This is false. Yesterday, we had a sister get it wrong. A sister got it wrong. Yes, good job, Tracy. Good job, Tracy. Mashallah. I'm so proud of you, sweetheart, with your beautiful self. She's beautiful. Okay, exactly. This is false. We talked about that yesterday. If you are deliberately, intentionally committing sins, that means you are deliberately, intentionally disobeying your Lord. How could you think that you could be have allegiance to Allah through that? That's not showing allegiance to Allah. The fact that you won't give up the things that Allah commanded you to give up shows that your allegiance. That's al-wala. Exactly, brother. Oh, now you get it. Oh, Brother Amir. Brother Amir said, Sister Layla, this class goes hand in hand with that, with wala bara. Exactly. That's why I'm teaching it. So it's a way of preparing you for the next of the trilogy, the second of the trilogy, which will begin after this, which will be the book of Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd on allegiance. Exactly. So that's what we're talking about, as Brother Amir finally got it. Sister Mina, did you see the connection too? Mina, did you make the connection from this class or to that? Like Brother Amir just did? Sister Elizabeth says she has. She made the connection. Good job. Exactly. When we talk about wala, wel bara, having allegiance, when I tell y'all that that's the second part of the testimony of faith, that's what we're talking about. Either you are an ally of Allah or an ally of Shaitan. If you truly believe La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, you are pledging that your allegiance is to Allah, your allegiance is to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and your allegiance is to the Muslims, no matter who they are or where they are, and your allegiance is to Islam. And that's why you would never participate in celebrating birthdays. You would never participate in Thanksgiving. You would never participate in New Year's celebrations because we don't have allegiance to those things. Those things are outside of the circle of Islam. They are outside of the circle of Islam. Good job. I'm glad Brother Amir made the connection. Did the people in my Zoom room, did y'all make the connection between this class and Wala Wala Barak? Prayers, no. The rest of y'all, answer me, somebody. I guess they did.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
you did, Layla? You made the connection
yes.
too? Good job.
Yes.
Good job. Good job. All right. So, yeah, that's why this is good time to teach this before we get to that. But great. So, exactly. If you have allegiance to Allah, you wouldn't be disobeying him. It's just that simple. So a person who disobeys Allah, it has no allegiance to him. You are not an ally of Allah. Instead, you're an ally of Shaitan. Good job. What about this? Those Christians that are good and they follow their Bible, they too can be allies of Allah. Is that statement true or false? What do you guys think?
I think false. False. Definitely false.
Does anybody disagree with them? We got some good Christians out there. Never drink, never smoke, never fornicated, never party. They say they believe in the Lord. They go to church every Sunday. They don't celebrate holidays too. Can they be allies of Allah? Go say it again.
No, I'm saying that doesn't mean, just because they believe in all that, that doesn't mean that they're allies of Allah, which means you have to, believe in Allah first and his messenger, the prophet, may peace be upon him, and then follow the laws that he imposed on us.
MashaAllah, perfectly said. My new Shahada's got it. That's the same thing, Sister Sandra type. Good job. So exactly. I want you guys to remember that in order to be an ally of Allah, you have to believe in him the way he commanded, worship him the way he commanded, and submit to all his laws, submit to all his rules. That's what the word Muslim means. If a Christian truly believed in Allah, they wouldn't be a Christian anymore. They would be like you guys that converted. They would be Muslim. That's what Allah means in the Quran when he says of the Christians, when they hear the words of the Quran recited, those of them that believe in Allah, they fall down to their knees and they submit. They say, La ilaha illallah, like the King Negus did. King Negus was a devout Christian. But when he heard Surah Maryam recited to him by Jafar, the uncle of the prophet, what did he do? He cried and he fell down to his knees and he said, your God is my God, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. And that's what you guys did. It's a beautiful thing. That's what you guys did that converted. So In order to be an ally of Allah, you have to also be a Muslim. If you're not a Muslim, you're not an ally. You know, if you're an atheist, if you're a Wiccan, if you're a Buddhist, if you're a Black Jew, I'm sorry. In order to be an ally of Allah, you have to declare and believe La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. That's why the people from the Nation of Islam, don't get it twisted, Muslims. I know a lot of you have Facebook groups and y'all post up a lot of stuff from the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam are not Muslims. They do not believe Muhammadur Rasulullah. They believe that Elijah Muhammad is the prophet of Allah. They are not Muslims, even though they call themselves that. So don't get it twisted. And new shahadas, you stay away from them. New shahadas, stay away from the Nation of Islam. And also that means Wallace Dean. Stay away from Wallace Dean too, because he's twisted too. They don't believe in the hadiths. They only believe in Riyadh Salihin. They do not believe in the hadiths. Again, to the allies of Allah, they believe La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can't pick and choose and believe in half of it. Okay, good job. What about this? All Muslims are believers. Is this statement true or false? All Muslims are believers.
True. False. 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 Wait a minute. You said not all Muslims are believers, but all believers are Muslims.
Girl, you so smart. You got a photographic memory. See how she corrected herself? She got a good memory. MashaAllah. But this is normal. A lot of people get this false. But I mean, they get this wrong. This is false. All Muslims are not believers. And this is what I was saying yesterday, just what Sister Nia said and what Sister Kimmy typed. Kimmy and Nia, they both together. Kimmy, I love your name, by the way. Kimmy is a cute little name. That sound cute. I never heard that before. Kimmy, that's cute. Well, yeah. Kimmy, come here, Kimmy. Oh, yeah. But anyway, mashallah, don't get it twisted. Not all Muslims are believers. I just gave you an example. Those people from the Nation of Islam, they call themselves Muslims. But do they believe Muhammad Dur Rasulullah? Muhammad ibn Abdullah Dur Rasulullah? No. We got these Muslim people out here that call themselves Muslims, but they don't believe in the hadith. If you don't believe in the hadith, that means you don't believe in the Prophet Muhammad. So not all Muslims are believers. Don't get it twisted, people, okay? Yes, exactly. Stay away from the Nation of Islam. Stay away from Wallace, Dean, Muhammad, all of them, because they're twisted. Okay? All right, what about this? A Muslim can never be an ally of Shaytan. What do y'all think? Is that true or false? I'm sorry, I forgot to put the little thing up.
That's false. Definitely.
What do y'all think in the group? The Reddit group. You, by the way, they named their group the Reddit group. I think that's really weird. Brother Edward say, because I always call them the Reddit group, they made their little channel the Reddit group. They call themselves Layla Nashiba's Reddit group. Okay, that was you that did that, Edward. Layla Nashiba's Reddit group. Okay, so what do y'all think? A Muslim can never be an ally of Allah. True or false? And that said false. Santisa said false. Zoom said false. Okay, Layla Nashiba's Reddit group said false too. Good job. Good job, mashallah. To say that a Muslim can never be an ally of Shaitan, that's the same as saying that all Muslims will be in heaven. That's no different than the Christians and the Jews. There's going to be a lot of Muslims in hell. A lot of Muslims in hell. And remember, we talked about the hadith. Okay, I'm getting ready to prove it to you. We got a little smart mouth brother that just joined Layla Nashiba's Reddit group. I'm getting ready to prove it to you now, brother man. Allah says in the Quran, in the interpretation of the meaning, that the people of paradise, they will look down and see the people in hell. And they will call out to the people in hell, the Muslims there in hell. Why are you there? You were Muslim. Why are you there? And they will say, we are amongst those who did not pray. We are amongst those who did not fast. We are amongst those who did not wear hijab. So there's your dalil, Mr. Smart Alec. Okay? So there's going to be a lot of Muslims in the hellfire because of the sins that they died upon. That's why we have to be careful. That's why I'm telling you guys to every night before you go to sleep, evaluate yourself. Evaluate the day that you had and repent. Because if you die upon sins, Allah may punish you. Okay? Exactly, Sister Kimmy. Exactly. Exactly. And we also have another hadith too, where the prophet said that most of the people of my nation that will be in the hellfire are those who didn't perform their prayers. They didn't fulfill their obligations to Allah. You brothers that don't provide and maintain your families. Let me make it, since I got the women's group in here too, let's talk about the brothers. You men out there who instead of taking care of your families, you trying to make your wife, and I'm going to answer your question now, sister. What's your name? Latifa. You got a name like my best friend. No, your husband cannot make you go out and get a job, Latifa. Okay? It's the job of the man. Allah says in the Quran that you are the provider. You are the maintainer. You are the protector of the family. It's not your wife's job to go out and work because you don't want to work anymore. People like that, working is an obligation because you're the man. As the Prophet Muhammad said, the people of my nation that will be in hell are those that fail to fulfill their obligations. So no, sister, you don't go out and get a job. You tell him you ain't going to work. Either he do his job as a man or you will replace him with a real man. Islamically, legally, Islamically. That'll make him get up off his rocker. Oh, yeah. You got to get tough sometimes with these dudes. What do you mean he tired of working? Listen at this, LaFresno. Okay, she said her husband said he's tired of going to work every day. So he's not going to work. He told her to get up and go get a job. So she wants to know, does she have to get up and get a job because he's tired of working? No, that ain't your job. You tell him if he's tired of being a man, he can be replaced with something better. Yeah. She said, I like you, Sister Layla, because you keep it so real. Yeah, that's the thing. We have to keep it real. You know, You listen to these brothers tell you, oh, my sister, be patient. We don't be patient with a man that don't want to do his obligation. Okay? Who's going to pay the bills? Who's going to take care of the children? Your children suffer. Your job is to take care of those children. And by the way, Sister Latifah, you should be homeschooling your kid. Oh, yeah. Let me get on YouTube. Layla Nashiba is an equal opportunist. Just like it's your husband's job to go out and work, it's your job to educate your children. You shouldn't have your children in no Catholic school. You should be homeschooling your kids. Your kids should be homeschooled. It's your job to protect your children. You're supposed to guard what your husband would have you guard, meaning his home and kids. Are you homeschooling your children, sister? No, see? You see that? And that's for all you women out there. I want all my new shahadas to understand. You got to learn what your role is as a wife, as a woman in Islam. Okay? You're supposed to take care of those children. And it's the world that we live in, the society that we're living in. Your children are going to be exposed to LGBTQ. Your children are going to be exposed to drugs. They're smoking marijuana in elementary school. Y'all don't know that? They're eating gummies in elementary school that's laced with marijuana. So you Muslim women, instead of sitting at home on your rockers watching television, instead of sitting at home on your rocker talking on the phone all day, you should be homeschooling your children. Exactly. Allah's going to ask you women about that. He's going to ask you, why didn't you homeschool your kids? So it's a two-way street. We got our role, our obligations. They got their role and obligations. Tell your husband to get up off his rocker and go out and work. And you get up off your rocker and homeschool your children and learn your deen. Come to my classes every day. My classes are every day at 6:30. This is the one you never want to miss, because this is the one that's going to save you from the hellfire, because this is the class that's Aqidah. Okay? If your Aqidah is not correct, none of your good deeds are accepted by Allah. All right? You're welcome. She said, thank you. Her husband said, thank you too. Yes, but you go out and get a job, dude. What you talking about? You tired of working? But a man up. All right. So, yeah.
Can he work from home? Or can he work, a couple hours more per day, but less days per week? Like,
no, he need to get up off his butt and do like the Prophet and the companions did. The companions didn't slack on their job as a man. That's the difference. The Abu Bakr was a businessman. These people worked and fought. Did jihad. He won't slack up on being no man. That's that slave mentality. That's what the American white man did when they brought you from Africa. They stripped you of your malehood. You better get out of that slave mentality and go out and get a job and take care of your family. Like Allah said, ain't no half stepping. Ain't no half man and half woman. If you got to work 10 jobs, go work 10 jobs and take care of your wife and your children. And sister, you get up and homeschool those kids. Protect them from the drugs. Protect them from LGBTQ. Oh, yeah. That's right. DoorDash on the side. He said, this sister keeps it real, man. He said, I've never heard a woman talk like this and keep it real. He said, but Sister Layla, you are correct. He said, I stand corrected. Thank you, Sister Layla. You're welcome. All right, so exactly. So, okay, so yes, a Muslim can be an ally of Shaitan. Whenever we disobey Allah, whenever we fail to fulfill our obligations, you know, we fall in that category. What about this? Y'all know I'm working 3 computers. It's kind of weird. I'm working that left side of the brain. Okay, which of the following is correct? All Muslims are believers, or all believers are Muslims. Which one is correct? Proud of my Zoom. Good job. Good job, Sister Khadijah, too. Good job, Edward. Good job, Zoom. Y'all did good. Oh, okay. Good job. I'm seeing from everybody but Rumble and Twitch. I don't have no answers from Rumble and Twitch. The LinkedIn people got it going on. Twitter. Oh, I got one Twitter person here. One Twitter. What's your answer on Twitter? Let me see who you, if I can. It just won't tell me your name. It won't tell me your name, but I can see you on Twitter. Type your answer. I can see you if you type. Okay, his answer's wrong. Okay, we just gave that answer. We just talked about that. All believers are Muslim, but not all Muslims are believers. What's the difference? Well, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was asked that question. He was asked by one of the new converts, one of the Bedouins who had converted. He said, what's the difference? The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the difference between a Muslim and a believer is this. A Muslim may sometimes give in to his desires and deliberately commit a sin. He said, but a believer will never, ever, ever deliberately, knowingly, intentionally commit a sin. That's the big difference. There's other differences too. The believer never lies either. A believer, and it's something I want all of you Muslims listening to me to ask yourself, do you lie? Do you cheat? Do you deceive people? Are you dishonest in your dealings? If you are, then you're not a believer, because a true believer can do anything but lie. Okay, the believer doesn't lie. The believer can get weak and drop from the status of a believer to a sinner. Okay, he can give in to his desires, weak one day, but he can commit any sin. But the one sin that he can't commit is lying. The believer will never be dishonest in his dealings with you, or in his dealings business-wise or anything else. He can't cheat, lie, or any of that. How many of you can say that you can't do that? If you once you reach that status, you know that you, inshallah, well on your way to being a believer. Okay? All right. Okay, what about this one? The allies. This is what we talked about yesterday. The allies of Allah fall into only 2 categories. Who can tell us what are those 2 categories and how do they differ? What are the 2? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. The allies of Allah are the forerunners, and the people of the right hand, and the difference between them is the forerunners will not be judged, and the people of the right hand, they will be judged, but Allah will eventually forgive them.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. What do y'all think of her answer? Everybody agree?
Yes, that
I
was
agree.
beautiful.
Yeah, who was it that answered, Joe? Was that Nia?
No,
Tony.
Oh, that was Tony's baby. Was that your baby, Tony?
that was Tony.
It was Tony herself.
Oh my God, good job.
They
Exactly.
gave me the answer. Amira gave me the answer.
Amira did. Okay, mashallah. Exactly. That's the difference, guys. Okay, the forerunners. These are the best of this nation. As Allah said, most of them will be from the early generation of Muslims. The companions and the tabi'een are in that category. These are the people who were so good. They did so much in the name of Allah, for the sake of Allah, like Khalid bin Walid and all of them did, spreading Islam, defending Islam. They've done so much that Allah has already chosen to forgive them of their sins. On the day of judgment, He will gather them together and simply tell them, I'm not going to judge you. You're forgiven for everything. Just go wait for me to open the gates of paradise. Okay? The people of the right hand. Who are the people of the right hand? These are the Muslims that live their lives trying to be the best Muslims they can be. They fulfilled their obligations. They prayed, fasted, wore hijab. They enjoined the good. They forbid the evil. Okay? They will stand before Allah on the day of judgment, and they will be judged. That's the difference. They'll be standing there with sweat, some of them up to their knees, some in sweat up to their noses, some covered completely in sweat, thinking that they're going to be thrown in the hellfire. And after all of that, Allah is going to say, guess what? Even though you may have committed sins, the simple fact that you believed in me and you did such and such deeds that earned my love, I love you. And I have already promised that I will never, this is from Sahih Muslim, that I will never allow the hellfire to touch anyone that I love. The simple fact that you took care of your mother when she was sick and dying. The simple fact that you were always there to help a person in need. The simple fact that you attended Sunnahfollowers every day for all your life, for 30, 40 years of your life, you were logged in on that website every day learning about me, learning about my angels, learning about your purpose. Because you did these deeds, I love you. And I'm going to forgive you of that time that you lied. I'm going to forgive you of that time that you did this and you did that. I'm going to forgive the fact that when you get angry, you got a foul mouth. So go stand behind those forerunners and wait for the gates to open. Isn't that beautiful? So the people of the right hand, they will never do time in hell either. That's why we're supposed to spend our lives, guys, trying to earn Allah's love. Because if Allah loves you, like he did that prostitute, remember the hadith about the Jewish woman who, this is before Islam, even though she was a prostitute, the simple fact that she believed in Allah and she feared him. When she saw that dog lying in the street dying and she jumped in that well, came out with a shoe filled with water and gave it to him and saved his life, Allah loved her. That brought about Allah's love. And he forgave her and put her and told her she will be amongst those in paradise. Allah's mercy supersedes everything. That's why we never lose hope as Muslims. You know, we commit sins, we repent. That's another difference between the believer and the mere Muslim. That prostitute, they said, she had no choice but to prostitute. Because back in her time, you know, women didn't have jobs like we do today. She did it because she had no choice. She had to provide and maintain for herself. That's what some of the scholars said. Okay? Sometimes we may find ourselves forced to do things that we shouldn't do. But we know that these things are bad. We know that they're haram, but there's no way out of it. That's the key. There's no way out. She had no way out of prostituting. She had no men folk to take care of her. No way out. That's the difference. A lot of us have a way out. You don't have to prostitute. You can DoorDash. You can go get a job at McDonald's. You can go work for a healthcare at one of these healthcare centers. There's so many jobs. We have alternatives today. Okay? But oftentimes you may find yourself forced to do something and you hate it. The simple fact that you know it's wrong, you hate it, and you still believe in Allah and you're doing everything else to obey him, you might be of the right hand. Allah just may have you stand before him, read from your book of deeds, and then after you've done, say, guess what? It's okay. You saved the life of a dog. You also used to feed the birds. You had no choice but to do what you did. I know there was no way out. So guess what? I forgive you, baby. Go stand and wait for the gates to open. Isn't that beautiful? But the key is no way out. You understand, sisters? You women here who are living with men. I got 3 women here right now in that group. You know that it's haram for a Muslim woman to be with a kafir man. You converted to Islam. Your husband is a kafir. In Islam, your marriage is null and void. There's the way out for you. You don't fall in this category. You're choosing to disobey Allah. That prostitute didn't choose it. She had no way out. This is what some of the scholars say. She had no way out. You got a way out. All you got to do is get up, go home and stay with your family, or go down to the county, apply for public assistance and get you an emergency apartment. But you love that man. You don't want to give up your man. So you're not like the prostitute. She had no choice. There was no way out. Do you guys understand the difference with that hadith? Because a lot of people hear that hadith and they say, well, I'll just be like the prostitute. I'm going to sell drugs and do some giving charity. I'm going to sell drugs and send my money overseas to Palestine. How many of you have heard people say that? I'm going to sell drugs and send my money to Palestine so I can be like that prostitute. No, that prostitute had no way out. She was forced to do what she did. You ain't forced to sell drugs. You choose to. Just like you women choose to live with men who are kafirs and sex them and everything else because you can't let them go. You're not like that. Does this hadith make sense? Amina, everybody in my Zoom, Geechee, does it make sense the way I'm explaining this?
Yeah, perfectly.
Yes.
So I don't want good. Latifah, let me hear it. Go ahead.
No, I say yes, I agree.
Yeah, because I mean, too many of y'all play with these hadiths. That's why you cannot teach yourself this deen. Let me make that screen a little bigger here for this brother here. Hold on for a second. He don't know, do he? He getting ready to find out. He getting ready to find out. Brother Edward said he don't know who he playing with. So this is why you cannot teach yourself this religion. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, learn from the people of knowledge. Okay? A lot of us pick up these hadith books and start reading them and, oh, I'll just sell drugs. I'll just be a prostitute. I'll just do phone sex for a living. Oh, yeah. How many of you know Muslim women that's making their living by doing phone sex? And they say, oh, I'm like the prostitute. I give half my money in charity. No, that prostitute had no way out of it. She was forced to do it. Where did I learn this from? From my teachers. Okay? I don't make this up. And my teachers were scholars of the hadith. They're dead now, except for Sheikh Morsi. May Allah keep him living. Okay? You can't teach yourself this deen. I didn't teach myself. I've been learning this religion since I was a kid. I've had some of the best scholars, the best, and still got the best with me. All right? So you brothers are going to have to stop playing with this religion and take it seriously. Stop selling drugs. You women that's doing phone sex for a living, you're prostituting yourself by choice. You're no different than a strip pole woman. You're no different than Cardi B. And you choose it because you like the money. So don't use that hadith about the prostitute because you don't fall in her category. All right? Exactly. Oh, look who's here. Oh, you in the group? He's in a group with you guys, right? He said, y'all better respect Ustada Layla Nashiba. Brother, you need to go back to the Emirates. It's late. Yeah. He said Layla broke that hadith down. He said she's right. That's exactly what the scholars say. She's right, 100%. He said she ain't got to speak Arabic. She gave it to you in English, and her English is perfect. He said, I speak Arabic. You want to ask me? He said, my answer be the same as hers. She broke it down in English better than me. He said, you are not like her, like that prostitute. Okay, she was forced. He said, the scholars will all agree she's right. Stop misinterpreting that hadith. Thank you, famous brother. You can go back to the Emirates. Oh, now they typing in Arabic. Mm-hmm.
Would that go under OnlyFans?
Of what?
You know that website that a lot of women started doing OnlyFans?
What's
Still
OnlyFans?
That is prostitution, right?
You still a prostitute. You are selling your body.
What's the
money.
OnlyFans? What's that, y'all? Y'all know.
OnlyFans is when what was it? When Trump became president the first time, they closed down Backpage. So that means a lot of people that were prostitutes and stuff like that could no longer have employment. So they started a website called OnlyFans, where basically you have subscribers, and those subscribers pay for your content, whatever it is. You can go live on OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, that's what these women are doing, but that's what they call it.
Yeah,
They told me. They told me it's like phone sex, but they call it. Oh, that's what these sisters here do.
No. It's not on the phone. It's video. It's kind of like video cam, but with subscriptions.
That's it. Yeah, that's what they've been doing. That's what these and these women claim that they forced. Yeah. Yeah.
lady on there, she showed us her on Twitter. She posted her report. She makes 40 million a year on it.
That's why they do it, for the money. Exactly. That's haram. You're not forced to do that. That's haram. You're a Muslim woman. The brother here said it's big time in the Emirates too. He said that the Arab women doing it too. He said the Arab women doing that too.
Not only pictures of that, they also sell there's pictures
That's
of
what he
feet.
said.
They sell pictures of feet. They're like, oh, it's just her feet.
Yeah, that's what he said. It's a problem where they live too, in the Middle East too. Yeah, well, all of that is haram. You know, y'all cannot use that hadith about that woman. That woman was forced to be a prostitute. She had no way, no other way. You people are choosing to disobey Allah because you're in love with the money. You're a prostitute. You're in love with this dunya. You sisters are gonna pay for that crap. And by the way, I want all of you women that are new shahadas to understand something. If a person is deliberately, that's why I keep telling y'all the key word is deliberately and intentionally disobeying Allah, Allah does not accept none of your good deeds. He doesn't accept your prayers. He doesn't accept your charity. You know, all your good deeds are just a mirage. So you women cannot use that hadith to be what you guys are. You women are nothing but trick babies. In my day, that's what they called them, trick babies. And this is one of the 10 commandments that Allah said don't do. So this makes you an ally of Shaytan. You are an ally of Shaytan. You are an ally of Shaytan. Money, money, money is going to always be the cause of ruin. And the brother here said it's going on in the Arabic countries too. The Arabic women are doing it to make money too. And it's haram, haram, haram. Yep.
Hey,
that's
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Layla was on the phone. What is this? Some type of ban?
No, it's just prostitution. It's just like phone sex. You go on the internet and put on your camera and stream your body and stream yourself for hours. They got them on Twitch. They women sitting there in their nightgowns streaming themselves, and you subscribe to them and get money. Yeah, it's prostitution. That's the oldest profession in the world. Women been doing that.
So many people judge prostitutes like some people ain't raised to do this stuff. Like for real, and then not just that. It's like selling drugs and gang violence. Like it's so hard for these women to get out of these places. But just like with drugs, you have to say that you would rather be homeless on the street and a beggar than to go back to that life. And that's the only way that you're gonna get out of it. But a lot of people do not understand because they have never been in that life before.
Because they don't fear Allah. And they don't fear Allah. If you fear, and that's the thing with that prostitute.
It's gonna make you stop.
And that's the thing with that prostitute that caused her to get forgiven. She believed in Allah. She feared him. She loved him, but she had no way out. She was forced to do it. She was forced. Okay? You women are choosing that lifestyle. You choosing to be strippers. That's all you are. Oldest profession. You're choosing to be a stripper. You're choosing to be a prostitute, a hooker for the fast, easy money. Women been doing that for centuries. All right, and that's what that woman was doing, but she was forced into it. Y'all gonna pay for that. That's one of the signs of the last hour too, guys. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you live to see the days of fitan before the war against Islam, one of the signs is prostitution will be on the rise in this nation. So the Prophet said that you women would do just what y'all doing. He said this nation, the women in this nation will be into that prostitution. So, Allah speaks the truth. Again, No need to say Sadaqallahu Azim. Allah speaks the truth without innovating after reading the Quran. Okay? Yeah, y'all Muslims better get it together. Yeah, I've heard of that. That's why I got them in here. I got some women in here that's doing that in this group. That's why I don't deal with this group that much. Because I think it's disgusting. And by the way, guys, that's one of the signs of an ally of Allah too. The allies of Allah, as we talked about yesterday, the allies of Allah, they love what Allah loves. And they hate everything that Allah hates. Allah says he hates everything that he made haram. He hates prostitution. He hates illegal sex. He hates sex out of wedlock. So you women are earning the hatred of Allah. You have gained allegiance to Shaytan, but you have distanced yourself from Allah. And remember what we talked about the other day. Whenever you turn away, Allah says whenever you turn away from remembrance of him, he will assign an extra jinn. And that's why you women can't get out of that lifestyle, because you don't want to. And not only do you have your personal jinn beckoning you to continue to make money that way, but you got another jinn on you too. Oh yeah. And the same with you brothers that's selling them drugs. You like the lifestyle until you get busted. Y'all better remember what T.I. said. T.I. said the life of a dope dealer is 3 years. Either you gonna be dead after 3 years or in jail behind bars. So you do the math. Y'all ain't got but 3 years. Fast money and a fast ending. And it ain't a good ending. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said another characteristic of the allies of Allah. The allies of Allah, they pray for a good ending. They make dua every night asking Allah to give them a good ending. A dope dealer, a prostitute, you guys don't have a good ending. That's something to think about too. All right, any other questions?